This is the second part of that payroll video. So I just want to make sure you all understand that payroll, accurate payroll, is vital for your business operations. Tax compliance is the difference between being in business and being dead out of business. Accurate payroll means staying out of legal issues, employees trusting you, being financially stable. Okay. The federal government and the state government trusted you when they gave you an EIN to be able to collect uh, payroll taxes from your workers, child support tax withholdings, and other withholdings from your workers. Hold it into your account, your bank account, and remit to the appropriate authorities when it's time for remittance. That's a trust that you've been given as an employer. Your job is to do that. Whenever you write a paycheck, you are to deduct what was indicated for deduction and remit the end of it. So anyway, in this video, I'm going to talk about the forms that you need for your payroll and when to submit them and so on and so on. By the way, employees who work in home care are at the lower end of the economic scale. That means they most likely all receive tax return refunds at the end of the year. The only way they can receive their refund is if you have deducted tax and remitted those taxes back into the government. That's how their taxes are calculated. If you don't deduct from them, then there's a problem here. Okay. Now, if you look at it, there are forms that you need to file. First form, it's not it's not per se a payroll tax, but the W-4 form is an employee form. A W-4 is an employee form, and that employee form it's what is used to decide what to deduct. Okay, so it helps you determine how federal income tax is withheld from each employee because the employee completes it and tells you, instructs you, the company, what to hold from them or what dependents they have or how much money they would like their paycheck to be withheld and remitted to the government. All right. The next form is the W-2 form. Yes, they're both W, right? The W-2 form, everyone knows that. It's the form that has all the information about your employees and your company and the amount of money everyone made, that person made throughout the year, and the amount of taxes you withheld for the state, local, and federal. It has that information for one employee. For everyone, totally, there's something called W-3. And W-3 form, it's the form that is calculates all of those W-2 forms, individual W-2 forms, and basically tells Social Security Administration that, hey, this is how many W-2s I have submitted in this total amount. This is how much tax I withheld. This is how much I have remitted, and so on and so on. So the W-2 and the W-3 need to match at the end of the year, and it should automatically match if you are not writing manual checks. Please understand, do not write a paycheck through a manual check. Do not write a paycheck through cashier's check. Don't give anyone a cash. Uh, if you really understand how this works, you will understand that anything that you do that's out of compliance is being tracked by someone else. For example, let's say I bill $2 million. Okay, I billed $2 million, and I billed Medicaid, VA, the VA insurance, HMOs, MCOs, everyone, right? Every one of those companies. Let's say company A let's say it's Medicaid, paid me 1.5 million. Company B paid me 200,000. Company B paid me 300. That's my 2 million. At the end of the year, they send me 1099 because they have received payment from the insurance themselves, and they have to decide who they paid the money to. So they notify you that, hey, and the 1099, we paid your company ABC 2 million in total. And then they go also and send their copy to Social Security Administration that, hey, we paid this company 2 million. Now, when you submit your W-2s and your W-3s, um, it kind of need to make sense in the sense that if you received the $2 million, everyone knows that you at least 60-70% will go back to payroll. You are a staffing company in this business. For every $1 you receive, you should have one worker um, um, providing services for that $1. All right. So when that's the case, let's say 60-70% goes back to employees who are W-2, 1099, or whatever it is. But at the end of the year, you notify Social Security Administration, hey, um, I paid 65% of all the money I have received in W-2s or in W-2s and reported and summarized in W-3. If they make sense, okay, you got this much money. We know you got this much money because we paid you this much money because we paid someone else who paid you and they told us they paid you. Okay. So they're like, okay, that makes sense. He had so many workers, pay them in 1099 or W-2s, and this is the summary. This is how much he paid. That makes sense. 70%. Okay, we can live with that. The rest is the other business operations. Okay. So if for some reason you notify Social Security Administration that you only paid $500,000, you are you are mistakenly thinking that the people who paid you don't report back to Social Security what they paid you, and that's a bad mistake to have. Okay, so everyone knows the numbers. I mean, people who put the budget together know how much wages costs, and that's what they're paying you basically, plus a little extra for you to run the business. So that's the W-4, W-2, and W-3. Now there's something called 941. And 941 is what you report every year, every quarter. I apologize. You report 941 quarterly. Every quarter, you tell um, you tell the federal you notify IRS that, hey, the last 3 months, or I think it's 4 months, the last 4 months, this is how much money I paid. This is how I paid to my workers. This is how much money I paid in income taxes, and so on and so on. They are 4 quarters, and they add up to your W-3. So your W-2, your 941, and your W-2s match that way, right? So they need to match exactly. And in every, if you fail to take into account that math, you could be in trouble. Then there's something called 940. That's unemployment. I'm running out of time. Unemployment for the federal tax. 940, you must file at least once a year. Then everyone knows about the I-9, employment eligibility verification. Everything that happens is because you have verified someone, the identity that they are authorized to work in the United States. So you have done all of those things. All right. Again, in addition to the federal government, states also have all of these forms. So keep pushing. I will try to make another video of the consequences of not doing these forms.